My name is John Dussliere. I'm the swimming coach for the Air Force team in the Warrior Games. The Warrior Games is a Paralympic style sport competition. I'm the swimming coach for the Air Force Wounded Warrior program. And so I come to the care events, and we use swimming and adaptive swimming as part of the recovery for our warriors. And we'll go through basic freestyle technique, and we'll get them up to being a competitive swimming level of freestyle in about 90 minutes or so. And the Warrior Games happen every year, and that's when I'll start sending out training to them via the internet or phone calls. So it's kind of an evolution where they can either pick it up as an activity, a great physical activity they can use through life, or they can become a competitive swimmer in our program. How I explain this to my friends and family to really make it make sense is almost look at what we're doing like an HR program, but the US Air Force is this enormous employer. So we have people who get sick, who become ill. We have people who just get hurt or injured, and we have people who unfortunately get combat wounds. Well, there's got to be a next place, whether it's a transition back into active duty and being deployable, or wherever they will go back into active duty, or if medical retirement is a next step and a transition back into the civilian world. Well, what's that have to do with swimming? Well, we use swimming as a tool. Sometimes it's for confidence, sometimes it's a new tool or a new physical capability. We could really take the time to go through each step of learning freestyle, from starting to float and learning their center of balance in the water as opposed to our center of gravity on land. And one of the best things I think that our warriors can get from that, even if they don't become a competitive swimmer, it's a chance to be confident to go to the pool a couple of times a week and just get out of gravity. Because when you're dealing with an injury or an illness, gravity is a big factor. One of our sessions here in Germany was incredible. And they're all really great. They're all very fulfilling, but it was incredible. From our group's team leader through to the rest of the teammates and both of our coaches on deck, we had a couple of non-swimmers. And non-swimmers sometimes are very resistant because there's a real fear of water. If you have it, it's very clear. And so we took a very cautious, careful approach to work on making sure that they trusted us. So we talked a little longer than we normally do before we got in to kind of gain their trust. And then as we're going through the drills of learning how to swim freestyle, and a couple of people who were hesitant were just kind of sitting on the edge, I invited one of them into the pool, and instead of holding a kickboard or holding something else, I had him hold my arm because it felt a little more stable and it was a little more personal. And so we kind of made a connection, and he really gave me his trust. And from there, he began to just open up and let himself relax in the water. And pretty soon he was floating. And then I asked him if he would let go of my arm, and then he floated on his own for maybe the first time in his life. And the grin that he had was my payment. And then he just kept progressing, and in about 15 or 20 minutes, he was swimming freestyle. And that's just a huge accomplishment for him. Obviously it is for me, because that's my goal, is whatever somebody comes with, I want to send them with a lot more. You know, leave people better than you find people is a great way to live. And this kind of provides me a way to do that. But he said something on his way out that, you know, he can go to the pool now with his kids and he can swim. And so he got something for his life. For the rest of his life, he can do that. And we did that in about 90 minutes yesterday. Sometimes seeing such a fast transition of 90 minutes when somebody has spent their whole life not wanting to swim, and if we can put this together in 90 minutes for them, as a coach, I kind of have a little mental high five, but emotionally, as just a person that kind of passed on that skill. There's really no way that I could quantify that. I mean, it's above and beyond what I could feel. And that, I think that brings that definition of care beyond duty. My duty is to teach people to swim or to swim better. But when we dropped all of the equipment and I asked him to just hold on to my arm, we made a connection and he built trust. And that's that beyond to me. That's where we took it beyond my duty or his duty to try. And we really kind of gave our trust to each other. Describing the Warrior Games is, there's so many levels to the Warrior Games. There's that kind of hoorah, kind of this branch versus this branch versus this branch. There's men and women who are overcoming some insurmountable things and they don't think about that stuff. They're chasing a medal for the Air Force, or they're chasing a medal for the Marine Corps, or so they kind of drop the day-to-day things that people are going through in their transition back to either rediscovering themselves or redefining themselves. The Warrior Games themselves are just a great showcase of all the different recovery efforts that all of us are working on all year long.